Good evening, everyone, and welcome to episode 82 on your favorite podcast, Myths, Misses, and Majesty. Both Shaun, as my co-host, and myself have been a little bit under the weather, so that's why we had to cancel yesterday's episode on God of War. But we surely plan to do that this coming Friday. We're still under the weather, so please pray for us because tomorrow we have a very important episode that will be at least 2 hours long and has to do with biblical theology backed up by some ancient Near East material. We'll continue talking with Carrie when it comes to this cosmic mountain motif in the Old Testament. Gates kept by the sacred guardians such as cherubim. How does one ascend to the mountain of God if he or she is a sinner, yet God is holy and God is waiting for them on the top of this mountain, so to speak? So we'll cover this whole concept of the cosmic mountain with all of its appropriate elements. And we have more than 5 pages, single space in words. So please pray for us so that our throats and our lungs and our whole bodies overall will be able to take with that toll for tomorrow so that we don't have to cancel the episode. For tonight, we have prepared a wonderful new game that still didn't come out fully, but there's an 1 hour demo that Shaun and I are planning to assess. But before we start doing that, Shaun, you have a special announcement for tonight.
Yeah. Tomorrow is my grandfather's 90th birthday. And so the whole family is going to get together and we're going to go and celebrate it with him. And so I just wanted to say happy birthday, Grandpa. And I love you, and I hope to see you tomorrow. I don't think the symptoms that I've been having are at all contagious. I think it's just weather. Haven't been running a fever at all. So looking forward to seeing you. Just weather change has us all kind of feeling cruddy.
Yeah, happy birthday from all of us as well. What is his name?
Carol.
Happy birthday, and may this 90th birthday be only because of God, the best of all, the happiest of all, the most fruitful of all. May he find new joy and motivation to serve the Lord and to enjoy in everyday, daily activities. That being said, we'll be just, like I said, commenting on the demo version that came out recently when it comes to Crimson Desert. It's an RPG. It's another RPG game that I think it could be dethroning soon Elden Ring. Probably not Black Myth Wukong, but it's an extremely good game. And many people are coming up with, great reviews and highly anticipating the full version, which I hope will come by the end of this year. So that being said, let's share and just start commenting on the game. By the way, my favorite RPG game of all times is Witcher 3. So I don't know if this game has a good chance to become my favorite number one. But I heard mostly good things about the game, so I'm waiting for the full version so I can fully immerse myself and start enjoying myself. Sean, when you see games and storytelling and beautiful world building like this one, when you see knights and you think about medieval times, we see in the background over there like something like a fortress or a castle. We see this life of peasants and bravery and knighthood. What does it remind you of? Is there a part of you that wishes you live in a parallel reality where you're able to participate in a world like this?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I think probably every man does. There's something that's missing in our society where everything has become so all societal customs have become so driven by the gentleman society that there's no longer really a place for courage or bravery or chivalry. Uh, so it's unfortunate that we have that drive, that inward call to become the greatest man that we possibly can be, but we're in some cases limited by our society and everything around us, and even our own selves that want to be the best person for our society. Sometimes that means letting go of some of the more masculine traits, unfortunately.
Yeah, and games like this where the hero is usually a loner because he has a great calling upon his life. It reminds me of those early church fathers and monastics that will be sometimes living with a band of brothers or just by themselves, praying, reading, fasting, worshiping God, farming, maybe witnessing and evangelizing in their own context, not in a 21st century America context, how we evangelize today. And they'll have this peaceful life that will be turbulent, usually only when they will be persecuted or having spiritual war. So that's, I
Mm.
think, another a layer of why we can appreciate this kind of games. And I don't know if you agree with it.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. It's kind of this idea of one man wanting to set the world right to the best of his ability, and I think that's a call that we all feel as well.
Yeah, so far I have to admit that I love the colors. A lot of these modern RPG games, especially Souls-like games, which are the subgenre of RPG games, can be very dark, very um, it's dark fantasy world. There is almost depressed. There is meaningless. There is everything is trying to kill you and devour you, and all these cosmic entities and monsters are the creepiest creatures you can ever imagine. But in this type of
Mm.
games, like with Witcher 3, yeah, they're monsters, they're ghosts, they're all these regional gods and deities, but also there is beauty in everyday life. You can see people cleaning, trading, it's beautiful nature. You can see, for example, now a pigeon on that post. You can see the everyday life and even including small details like you saw the how the road was made with those stones that you can still see nowadays in Eastern Europe. So this is why I appreciate games like this. They're more, if I can say, life speaking. It's not just dark and everything is like, there's no escape. Just bow down and give up. There's a lot of
Right.
life in a game like this. So again, this reminds me of The Witcher, which had for its time amazing graphics. Everything was green, just like this game. And as a fan of castles, I'm fully enjoying this part where he's about to enter the castle. And look on the left side, it's a guardian that is like Nephilim.
Mm-hmm. Giant, yeah.
Okay, there's another
That's
one.
another.
See, they have Nephilim and they're not even hiding, but they just managed to
That's right.
tame them and use them for their own purpose.
Wait. Seems like a permit. No clue where he got it. We don't look like the troublemaking type. Right. He can pass then. Open a gate. Head on through. Find yourself inside.
Shaun, speaking metaphorically and spiritually and theologically, we just witnessed that before he enters the gate, so he can enter the, so to speak, the Holy of Holies, the sanctuary, but he wouldn't be able to do that if he didn't have a pass.
Right.
What can you share with the audience that reminds you of when it comes to some spiritual and theological lessons of us having, so to speak, a ticket to enter the holy place?
Yeah. Well, the holy place or any place that's sacred or separate from the places that are more common or vulgar, they protect the space. And so in order to be in, you have to show that you belong there, or at least have a right to access that. And so normally those places are guarded by either those kinds of guardians, or in a more symbolic way, you would see like a seraphim or a cherubim guarding those sacred spaces. And even on the tabernacle, they had cherubim enlaced in the curtain, showing that they were guarding the sacred space. So yeah, if you don't have a right to be there, you won't be there, and that's kind of part of when Jesus is talking about the people coming into the wedding festival, and that those who are trying to climb over the wall to get in. If there's someone who's there without a garment, because the king invited people in, he would provide them with the dress, because most people didn't have dress adequate for a king's banquet. If you didn't have the dress, you would be bound hand and foot and thrown into outer darkness. You were kicked out. So if you didn't have a right to be there, you were taking your life into your own hands to try to access it.
Mm. And what is the best about that story? That if you will humble yourself, you can get a ticket. You don't have to be special in your own eyes or in the eyes of the world. If you just humble and ask, you just like anyone else can get a ticket, and
Yep.
that's amazing parallel. By the way, I don't know if you noticed, but he managed to transport himself through the portal and come to this beautiful like observatory. I cherish moments like this when people, I mean, designers of the game and this world building, pay attention to so many details like this. It just brings
Mm.
it makes the game more quote unquote spicy. Like you're excited to play when people pay so much attention, so that it becomes so immersive, like you're almost there.
Hmm. Walking through Carrie's library now.
Yeah, yeah. And check out, some of the books are just levitating, like the furniture.
Were you the one who asked me to do good?
This is not the first time we've met. My name is Alistair.
It's funny that he's
I
alchemist, because I
oversee the
planned
library of
one day to
Providence.
do an episode on alchemy.
This
That will be a
place
fun one.
holds the records of the world's providence. Each record signifies a world. Thus, the Library of Providence is the center of all worlds.
What is the reason you brought me here?
I also want to say that this time we're using a video from another YouTube channel called ENFANT TERRIBLE, like Ivan the Terrible. So please support this guy's work, subscribe to his YouTube channel, and if he ever watches this, thank you for making this video so that we are able to use it to assess the game. Thanks.
So please, fulfill the mission GN desire.
You know Jen.
There will be time to discuss that later. What I can tell you now is that this mission will restore the disrupted providence. So please, honor GN's will.
I asked if you know Jen. That's a large request.
Shaun, is it me or this may look like a special garden?
Wait, there's someone
It does look like a special garden. It looks like he was transported out of the sanctum into a garden, which is interesting because in biblical theology, those two overlap.
Yep. And it's so funny because that's one of the things that Carrie and I will be talking tomorrow. And now we're seeing this in the game. It's so
That's
funny.
right.
Who
Little
are you?
foreshadowing.
Yeah.
I am White Crow, a guardian of the abyss, if you will.
Abyss.
Oh, she's a quote unquote
Call it
a
the
good
Cradle of
witch.
Providence.
Hmm.
It serves as a bridge between Providence and the world.
But check out
Is there
on
a
the
reason you're
graphic
looking for
design.
me?
Check out all the layers of her coat. I mean, it
Aliston
really
wishes to
looks
repay the
appealing.
kindness
And this
shown
is
to
on
him.
PlayStation. I'm waiting for the PC version, which will have probably more advanced video
Have you
effects
ever imagined
that
flight?
modern video cards are able to use. So I can bet that the game can only
I
look
hope
better
you
on
are not
PC.
easily frightened.
Oh yeah.
Are you telling me to jump from here?
Don't worry. It's only one step.
That step better not lead to the afterlife.
Shaun, what does this remind you a little bit? When someone in the Bible is tempted to jump.
Someone in the Bible tempted to jump.
Yep, in the Gospels in the desert.
Oh, Jesus on top of the temple. Yeah, when
Yeah.
Satan tempted Jesus to jump off and that he wouldn't dash his foot. That's Psalm 91.
Yeah. Of course, we're not saying that our hero is Jesus, nothing like that, but it's just another parallel that I don't know why, but it just came to my mind.
But it is interesting that you're right that Jesus was tempted by Satan to jump, but then also he was standing there with two other people, and we see on the Mount of Transfiguration again another place at a cliff that Moses and Elijah came to meet Jesus.
Yeah, I think if we pay attention to our Bible reading plan, or maybe we don't have plan, we just read randomly. In both testaments, high places are playing crucial theme throughout the whole Bible, from Genesis to Revelation. And these high places are used both for good and bad purposes, depending if you're gonna meet and worship Yahweh or some other deity. So I think those high
Mm-hmm.
places are so important. Just like in this game, we saw that the garden was uh, on a much higher place than the regular, ground in their own realm.
Yeah.
Seems as if he can't afford proper banquet attire. Seems more sword-swinging fools are running about by the day.
Man, look at the whole region in the background. It looks so beautiful, so exciting to play and go and spend like hours of playing and exploring. What lures behind any curve, any mountain, any top hill. What quests, what main missions, what side missions. I can already tell it will be an amazing game.
Yeah, there's a whole world here to unpack.
Mm.
Man.
Also, I have to say that in this RPG games like this one, I truly enjoy ambiental uh, and just this ethnic music that goes in the background. It's so relaxing. And usually when there's like a scene of like action scene, they put drums and they make it more like in movies. They make it more like exciting. So truly, to make a good game nowadays is a
So
form of art.
Oh yeah.
Marius? Ah, Cliff. Thought I'd never see you again. You're alive. But your leg. I'm just glad I'm still breathing. And what of the others? We've scattered in all directions. Everyone. Unka, Naira, Jan.
Yes, but I'm sure they're well alive out there. Those fools fell.
Again, I don't know why, but I'm
See
thinking
how
about the
Harry
scene when
lives there.
Jesus, well, his body died,
Marius,
and when the disciples
What's
all
wrong?
scattered around, you know.
it's best
Mm.
not to draw attention. The black bears are on our tail. Right, and Russo's here too. Carried me on his back all the way here. He's still searching for the artifacts. Once a grey mane, always a grey mane. Where are you staying, Marius? In this corner of the street. Got some nice neighbours to keep me company. I'm sorry. I'll look for a decent place. Don't push yourself too hard, Cliff. I mean it. I've gotten used to my life here. Marius, I need to find my comrades a home.
Have you heard? They say Greymane's here in Hanan.
Yeah, there's another Nephilim on the left.
Mm.
But see, I mean, at least in this game, they're portrayed as someone who can serve justice and holiness. So that's
Right.
interesting. They can be redeemed.
I think a grey mane's gone and found us.
How much was Muirden's bounty again?
2 gold pieces. Is your life worth so little?
Enough. Forgive my men. They may have given the wrong impression. You may call me Matthias. Oh, I've always wanted to test my skills against a grey man.
Ooh.
What say you? You're here, standing before me. What reason have you to refuse my challenge?
None that I can think of.
Ah, so it's true. Greymanes never run from a...
So see, even though I always choose paladins and knights in games as a class, but our hero is like more of a barbarian, and now he's gonna fight the knight, and we would always assume knights are the good guys, but we don't know the whole story.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious as to what time period this is supposed to take place, because our hero's wearing like 9th century weapons and armor and this round shield, but this guy's wearing like 15th century French or Spanish armor.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. If anyone from the audience knows, please send a message. Oh, that was brutal.
Wow.
To be honest, if the game was a little bit more realistic, Cliff, who is our hero, his wooden shield wouldn't last this long. It wouldn't be able to deflect all those powerful, hits with a sword.
Yeah.
That was a good bout.
Anand is home to many mighty warriors. One cleaved an ox's horn without his blade ever touching it. Just a warning to a worthy opponent.
I'll keep that in mind.
Incredible. You really are the esteemed Greymane. It appears the clucking of house hens held a kernel of truth. I'm Barden Midler, the man responsible for keeping peace in Hanand. Come, walk with me, would you?
He's like a sheriff or something.
Do you know me?
Yeah.
The glory of the Greymanes is known throughout Hanand. Pardon my presumptuousness, but I have come with an urgent request.
Go ahead.
Not long ago, a boulder fell from the sky and crushed a farmhouse.
Yeah, look at how
We're calling
intricate
it
that
a
armor is.
sky
The
boulder,
way it's all
considering its
interlocking. That is like, that's
Shortly
almost like
after,
early modern.
brigands appeared, utilizing a peculiar.
Oh yeah, this is more advanced, and you can see how there are different type of screws, bigger and smaller. It has like certain noble look that early medieval times wouldn't be able to, you know,
No.
to do this.
Their identities.
I have my own mission.
But check out on Cliff's shoulders, he has runes.
Yeah.
I'll do what I can to help, but make no promises.
I wonder if they gave him some special magical protection, or maybe they're just inscription of his order, or something like his tribe, his ancestors. I don't know.
Yeah, that'd be interesting to try to see.
And again, this is just like in Witcher 3, like a hero would whistle and his horse shows up immediately, and then you just travel the world much faster.
Fire's getting worse.
There's still people inside. The house is about to collapse.
Great Solomon, save us!
Vile scum! To do such a despicable thing.
There are still souls trapped within.
How many?
Oh, run, flee, all hope is lost.
Three people. Will you help us?
Without aid.
He's not going to run in there with dry wood on his back and metal shoulders, is
How
he?
can anyone get to the...
Please help.
The fire is spreading.
I'm really interested to see what's his move. How will he
No, you fool.
save them? And
We still
yeah.
must save who we can.
For Solomon's sake. Was that rot worth all this? We should have just given it away.
This is not the time for such musings. We must save our people
I
first.
bet the animation will stop. Yeah, and now he'll be maybe going behind. Oh, okay, this is good.
Got to get them out quickly.
Shaun, did you pay attention to the dialogue when the priestess told him there are 3 souls entrapped inside? She didn't say there are 3 people or 3 humans or 3 men. She said there are 3 souls, which is this thing that, you know, like, regardless of how much your worldview is the materialistic, you know about soul, and you know soul does not equal to flesh, and you know that we are living souls, embodied souls, and just reading that in a game, just that philosophy that they accepted, the worldview, which is not necessarily Christian, it's not, but it is also Christian, so it just made me glad.
Right, right. It's a more ancient, more holistic way of looking at the world.
Yeah.
Dear Savior, I'm ashamed to ask, but...
What is it?
Please rescue our healer.
Well, he acted as bait to lure the bandits away, but he won't last long. As payment, I'll give you this cursed thing. It's the source of all our misfortune. But it must be of some worth.
find him.
Abyss artifact. I don't know. I can't help it. Now, when I saw Abyss, I'm thinking again about the Bible and especially Revelation.
Hey up! Oh. Yeah. Faster! Oh. Get going! Yeah. Go. Run.
You know what I notice in games like this? They're more than just, go kill a monster, get some golden coins, get a better sword and armor, kill the monster, finish the game, get to the next game. Usually there's this very emotional part of the world building and storytelling. Like, for example, in Witcher 3, when I finished the game with both DLCs, I wasn't happy. I was sad because at the end, the Witcher just sits here with a woman of his life. And of course, the ending depends. It can be different one based on your previous choices. But then he sits there and there's nothing to do, no one else to kill. He just sits there and he's happy. But then you, because you're immersed in the story and spend months and months finishing the game with all the side quests, now there's nothing else to do. And the whole story like this ends abruptly. And you're like, and you're so involved into this world that is not real, of course. But then you start missing the characters. And I don't know, this game may look like one of those games that is like so emotionally appealing.
That's why I like when games have like online play, so you can beat the game, and even then there's still like stories and stuff to do online.
Some viewers may think this is silly, but when I finished both Witcher 3 and Cyberpunk 2077, I just didn't have heart to uninstall those games. I just couldn't delete them. They became small part of me, and I was like involved in a story emotionally, like all of us. You can read reviews online for both games, and both those games were made by the same Polish company, which is amazing. And when you end the game, you don't want to delete it. It's like you feel so sad. You're not ready to give up on that world. I don't know. It's weird, but it's true.
Yeah.
Oh, mighty Solomon, you have sent your apostle to me.
No, your friend sent me. You're the healer?
By Solomon's light, I knew they would never forsake me. Oh, how blessed I am for such friendship.
Do you know who torched your house?
You're damn right I do. Those scrotum-sucking blasphemers. Oh, Light's mercy, my apologies. The Lord's fury just flows through me. But Goldleaf thugs came to steal my stone. Oh, how did they... he warned this would happen.
Slow down. Who warned you?
A man in merchant's clothes. He warned me thieves would come for the stone. And that you'd come to save me. Come. He said you'd want to see him.
Is this man a prophet?
I was about to say, it's so fun. I was about to say, like, it seems like he bumped into a prophet, and he said,
Right.
He just said that you may now see his value.
I was wondering if he was talking about the alchemist.
You to the eastern swamp. Does that mean anything to you?
Yeah. Sounds like a merchant I know.
Well, I'm glad I'm guiding the right person.
Could you tell me more about the stone?
You mean that accursed rock? Well, one day, a boy named Willie...
This is really beautiful.
...pleading for me to help an injured farmer by the name of Bremer. As
Oh,
I
man.
stepped into what
Yeah, look
remained
at
of
that.
the poor man's house, I was quickly enamored by a glowing stone at his side. Before I realized what I was doing, I had the stone nestled deep in my arms. Alas, the branch master of the
Now I
grove
imagine if this is
got that
decent in
very
72
same
pixels, at least that's the YouTube video. Of course I can enhance it, but there's no point.
punishing me for my
Imagine how gorgeous would it be on 4K on a big screen, again with powerful hardware. Like this will be a feast for your eyes.
Oh, you'd be so immersed
Well, you're on your own from here. This is all the
and have like
instruction I was
7.1 surround sound going.
given. Well then, take care of yourself.
Well, I was hoping, because he said I'm gonna bring you to the swamp, I was hoping for some monsters, but these are just regular people.
Not even any alligators.
Yeah,
Then let's
come
go
on.
hunt ourselves a grey mane.
No, I mean, but the game cannot be constantly going from action to action, from quest to quest, because it's just the beginning.
The grey mane.
Not here to fight.
Who the fuck asked? We were setting off to find you anyway. The branch masters put a generous bounty on your head. 1 whole gold piece.
Sean, have you watched Game of Thrones?
No.
At least one episode.
Cunt. Get him.
Yeah, I watched the first 3 seasons before I became, and then after that I was convicted, but I wasn't able to watch it anymore. I wish they would make a censored version of it, because I loved the story.
Yeah, just looking at this guy's beard and hair, I'm just thinking about Jon Snow. I don't know why, but I'm just thinking about it.
I was thinking either Jon Snow or like Ned Stark.
Oh, yeah, Ned will be a little bit older. Yeah. Now imagine if Cliff can fight few guys at once who have way more advanced, armor and weapons. Imagine once when he reaches their level, how powerful he will be.
Right.
Ooh, that was like a special move.
Yeah.
Man, that kick is so powerful. And that fire effect when he's like slashing them, oh, so good. And also, have you noticed how he's, this is his left arm and shield, and he's not holding the sword like this. It's like this. It's more realistic. Like he's pointing at them. It's like, I mean, just the whole guard, the whole position of his body is so well.
Right. Yeah, he's holding his shield and his sword as if he were part of a shield wall, which is what that technology was invented for, was the shield.
I'd say it's the other way around.
An insightful sentiment. I wish that it were otherwise.
Could this be the prophet? What do you think?
Perhaps it can be. Do you
Well, he
remember
looks
when we last met?
curious enough.
You had something to ask.
He looks like an orc. I don't know how is he just walking among people, but again, I don't know.
You saw no value in the proposition there.
We never got that far.
Or a goblin, or I don't know what
can
it
see
would
it,
represent.
can't you?
Like
The
something in
gold
between.
leaf
I don't
name
know.
Being tarnished beyond all recognition.
No, goblins are smaller.
To
So yeah, it's not a
our
goblin. It's just
branch
as ugly
master's
as goblin,
own
but it's
selfish desires.
You take issue with him?
Splithorn is a blight upon our guild. We suffer as Hernan suffers. I merely wish us to turn over a new leaf, a return to our former glory. I want you to challenge our branch master to a Rakash.
Rakash?
It's a
Shaun, I'm
goblin
thinking
term
about the
for
burning bush
jewel.
because I see so many
I'm
bushes
sure
around.
you've had your share.
Right?
I know Splithorn well.
It will, you know
as
what will be
is
cool? Once when this little green creature leaves Cliff, if
If
it
you
gets dark and
confront him
Cliff is alone, like on a
his
in a valley or on a
pride
cliff
simply
like
won't
this.
allow him
Cliff
to
on a cliff.
rise.
That's funny. I didn't plan to say that, but yeah, cliff on a cliff, and around the bush, and suddenly bush gets on fire, and he has this epiphany of a deity
The goal
that has a
here
mission
is
for him.
vast
That would be so cool.
and the weight of
That
our
would be
coin, of
awesome.
course.
That would be like
I know
deja vu
much of
Genesis.
your comrades. We could do much to aid you in that endeavor.
Because
Take your
let's be
time.
honest, when Abraham was called, he
And
was
think it over.
coming from a pagan
If
home.
it sweetens the
So
deal, know
meaning God
Splithorn is a
loves
thorn
everyone and is
in
willing to
Hernan's
use
side.
anyone. So, you know, just
I imagine the lords would be overjoyed to see a restructuring in our guild.
A merchant through and through.
I'll take that as a compliment.
I don't think we've seen him use his longbow yet, have we?
nope. Just his sword, yeah.
That's probably the most dangerous weapon he has on him is that longbow.
Yeah, I think since the game just began and he didn't have many chances to fight yet, I think it's early. So we'll see. But honestly, that bow is kind of thin, as well as his shield seems very fragile. So I'm hoping throughout the game it will be both of the bow and his armor will get thicker and more sturdier. You know? Ooh, this was amazing.
Yeah.
Witcher 3 had combo that you were able, as a final blow to the enemy, to cut their throat or their limbs. I know it could be gory for some. It wasn't for me, but it was such a pleasure when I would fight like 10 of them, 10 orcs or whatever, and then like it would slow down like in Matrix, and then Witcher would give them the final blow, and you just see limbs flying in the air. It was so amazing. Oh yeah, and in games like this, usually you don't pay attention and you don't think so much about chemical and biological weapon, but they're able to make potions and magic and even some type of primitive bombs, mushrooms, uh, poisonous, bushes and plants around you. So you will not think, but sometimes when you enter an area like this, when it comes to the swamp, that can be even worse than encountering, a horde of zombies.
Right.
Ooh, I like that combo. He kicks them on the ground and then final blow,
Mm. Ow.
Yeah. I don't know if he's.
I like using the shield more than just a defense. He's using the shield for like shields.
Yeah, his energy is running low. Okay, he was able to restore it. So I didn't see. He probably had some health potions.
Mm.
Otherwise, he would have died by now.
Right.
Ooh. You know, you're right. He could have, instead of coming and fighting 50 of them, maybe he could have first killed several of them from the distance with a bow and arrows. You know, I'm just thinking
Right.
now because you mentioned it.
Is this the guild headquarters? Hear me! I challenge Branch Master Splithorn to a Rakash.
Ooh, nice.
Challenge me? Who are you to step into my domain and oppose me? You and the sly rat who put that word in your mouth will pay. Now I'll gladly take this opportunity to prove why the gold leaves answer to me.
Ooh. Ooh.
He's fat.
Man, he's fast and he's sharp and precise, and it will take some special skills to get him. Oh, that was nice. Yeah, I like those elements when you can actually, because you're manipulating an enemy or objects, then you can see the surrounding being affected, like the chairs broke, barrels broke. It's so realistic, and I love that. Ooh, that was nice.
Nice toss.
Yeah. Oh, he's getting tired. Okay, that's good for Cliff to use that.
Right.
You know, I wonder what will be his reward when he beats this guy Splithorn, like the boss of this region.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if he'll get some title, or maybe, weaponry or gold. I hope he gets some very cool, either weapon or armor, so he can become stronger.
Oh yeah.
And usually in RPG and fantasy roleplay games, when you defeat an opponent, you can take his weaponry, or if he had strong, more powerful helmet or gloves or boots or pants, you can take that and put on yourself, and you're better prepared to go to the next quest. So
Has been purged. This sly rat shall now take center stage. An era of darkness has ended. Our branches, once beset by rot, shall see new growth, and our efforts in Hanand shall finally bear fruit. This I vow as Branch Master Shakatu.
I hope he keeps his end of the deal.
okay, so I guess he will benefit from this mission later on.
I guess his shield looks like it's took a little bit of damage.
Yeah.
Soaked in blood.
You know, again, in many RPG games, once when you master the skill of blacksmith, you can fix and forge your own armor and weapons. And it can be frustrating until you reach that level or get all the ingredients. But once when you master it, man, you can make some very cool weaponry and shields.
Mm.
Ooh. Shaun, have you seen 13 Warrior with Antonio Banderas?
Yes, I have.
That's one of my favorite movies. You know that in the beginning they used to think it's this mysterious mythical enemy or maybe like a fire serpent until they saw it was all like people together, these savages, and they used to be dressed just the same way like these barbarians.
Mm-hmm.
They
Yeah, I
all
always thought
had
it was
this.
interesting.
Yeah.
I always thought it was interesting in that movie because the barbarians are like oh, you can write or draw sounds or write sounds or whatever. And I'm thinking to myself, the runic writing system is 250 years older than Islam. Like, what?
You're back to camp. I'll meet you there. In one piece, I hope.
But see, the strategy both in this part of the game as well as in the 13 Warrior is for the enemies, they're mere mortals, just like you, is to
Mhm.
camouflage themselves and deceive you to try to scare you by looking more intimidating so that you would back off and get fear. And I mean, isn't that how in the spiritual warfare, not just in the Bible, but in real life, many times that is the strategy of the enemy?
Right, right. He wants to try to make things look impossible, so that way you won't have hope.
Yeah, like there's no escape and like you better retrieve because who are you to fight spiritual entities? And of course on your own you can't, but because of Christ and his authority you can.
Right. Well, and think about everybody who's ever unfortunately decided to end their own lives. It had to be because they believed a lie that things can never get better. And
Yeah.
we that our God is the God of the impossible. So he can do all things. And so there's never a time where you can say to yourself, well, God can't.
Get your fat fingers off me!
Oof. Man, he's getting some serious blows.
Mm.
That was nice. He threw him on the pile of fire. Did you see that?
Yeah.
That was so
Getting
cool.
incinerated.
You're all that's left. Must be lonely.
Murder.
Should have taken our offer when you had the chance. Look at yourselves. Peace. What good is that if you're all fucking dead?
My comrades died for a noble cause.
I'm sorry if anyone who is a minor is watching this because of the cuss words. You know,
Those who follow
we didn't play the game. We don't know. We didn't make the game, so
get him.
yeah, sorry
Nope,
for
I
that.
didn't know anything into it. It looks like a good game, though.
Yeah, it's a brand new. This is just the demo version that I think the designers allow people to download and play, so they can just have this taste of what the full game will be look like. Ooh, that was good.
Ooh.
Great mate. Tell me where it is.
No.
I wonder who will save him. Because like 5 minutes ago we saw some lady fighting, right?
Right.
I was thinking if two of them will like will fight together or something, like help each other. Oh
Wrong
my.
answer. Better look to the next grey maid.
There's no way he can survive that. His
No.
artery right here was cut.
Yep.
Give Gian my regards. Bring me the others. The hunt has begun.
Those the kids over there.
The townsfolk will suffer his deathly wrath. The spirit will punish us all. Halt! What? This don't concern you, outsider.
Where are the kids?
He's here to take the spirit's children. Kill him quick! Before we incur his wrath!
He's not even using weapons, just his mere hands.
Right. Now he's using a weapon.
Yeah, but I need the context, like, what happened?
Right. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Because we
Like,
know
he's
in
dead.
Game of Thrones that Jon Snow resurrected. So what happened to this guy? Like, is it something the same? Did we skip the storyline? I don't know what happened because he fell in the water and now he's suddenly in the snow and ice. So I don't know.
Right.
Where are the kids?
You got any idea what you're doing? The spirit will punish us all. Why on? The spirit of the mountain! Over there! They've all gone and doomed ourselves!
Oh my gosh. Shaun, what was in Native American mythology? This beast that had that looked like a big deer with antlers.
What
What did you say?
the Wendy?
Yes, the Wendigo. This is it. And also in Witcher 3, you had type of Wendigo, which was called different because it's, the whole Witcher 3 is based on Eastern European lore and mythology, but it's the same entity or in the same family. So this is the same thing like Wendigo, and in Witcher 3, I think it's called Lashni or something like that. Lashi, something like that. Shaun, several months ago, we had in one of our stories for the ear encounters segment that we're doing. We covered one story of Wendigo, of people being stranded in the forest in the snow. I don't know if you remember.
Oh yeah, yeah, and yeah, Wendigos are definitely something that the Native Americans were very afraid of, and when the settlers came, even they had stories about encounters with them.
Ooh. Let's see. Wendigo is the demonic entity, and in the game, this is it looks like a demon, but it's completely materialistic, so you can actually kill it with a weapon.
Well, and there's I think there's like Native American I don't want to say occupation. There are like Wendigo, and there's also the same kind of thing with skinwalkers. They have skinwalker killers. Like their whole job or their whole purpose in life is to go after these.
Wow. I would like to learn more when it comes to the lore of Wendigo. Like, how would people, especially Christians, how would they fight this entity? I mean, it wouldn't work with axes or guns. So how would you fight it besides praying, fasting, and stuff like that? So I'm just
Right.
interested, how would the spiritual warfare work? Would priests and pastors or regular Christians, would they approach it like demon or more like a regional principality? It's like, I think it's not a mere demon. I think it's something more powerful.
Right. I don't know if it would be a principality, but I know that the only reason that it would be able to exist is because it falls under the domain of something wicked. And so I think that once you claim that area for Christ and, have some sort of worship, something there, and cast out whatever that is that has dominion over that area, that the Wendigo will also go, because whatever he draws his power from, that been cast down.
It's so interesting how there is at least one common thing among all God's creation: people, animals, spiritual beings, demons. God made us all to be territorial, all of us.
Yep.
Humans, animals, and spiritual beings. It's all about the territory, not the physical land necessarily, but there's something about the territory that is yours, and you want to defend it and claim it. And how will you use it? Will you use it for something righteous and noble, or will you use it for something wicked and corrupt?
Well, something else that you also have to think about. Well, I don't know if you have to, but I've also thought about it. Imagine this is like, so what we're seeing here. This is like the guardian spirit of the mountain, right? And so this is something that's an animal, and has a certain amount of cognitive faculties, and it knows that the reason that everything that it loves and protects dies is because of the sin of Adam. And you were supposed to be the one to take dominion over the earth. And now you're coming in this place and it just hates you because everything that it loves, everything it was supposed to do, it's all falling to just blood and ashes because of you.
And because they know that Christ died for us and not for them, that's another reason, when it comes to the wicked entities, to be hateful of God's creation, especially humankind.
Fit for a queen. Look how they sparkle with splendor. Bursts of brilliant ruby flame. Shades of cerulean that put the sea to shame. Streaks of sunlight striking stone, dappling.
I don't know how many fantasy novels have you been reading lately, but maybe from before you do remember, or if not in novels, maybe in movies and TV shows, that intentionally the book designers, the game designers, the TV show and movie designers, they'll always make this, not always, but many times, they'll create this strong character, like a warrior, and they'll bring a sort of a fool to bring the balance. So it won't be everything serious. It will be funny. It will be like, hey, there's another side of this book or TV show. It gets dark and serious and people are dying, but also there's this light side and funny side, and it's like, it brings balance to the whole story. So this guy that we just saw a couple of minutes ago, he could be, if he joins Cliff, he could be that balance to the story.
Absolutely. And what I love also is when the characters follow this kind of Shakespearean trope of the fool ends up being more wise than the hero, and so they're still kind of being like foolish and stupid, but they're actually the ones who figure out or solve or however that ends up working.
Yeah. Yeah, and sometimes even fools can be so sacrificial and show the deepest form of love that is portrayed through sacrifice, as Jesus said. The highest form of brotherly love, love of a friend is to give your life for him or her. So we see this in Lord of the Rings. We see people, I mean, hobbits, certain type of hobbits, they're like not expected to be heroes, yet they are. So yeah, that's a good point. And also it brings, like I said, that balance to the story, and also portrays not just authors, but God is the one who creates each in the individual in a certain way that it's like you're not to be copy paste of a person next to you. You're made to be different. Your qualities are not their qualities, and their qualities are not your qualities. But guess what? You are the strongest as a team. So
Right.
man, he kept this crawl kind of skin that he's able to fly if he jumps in the on the high places. He that gift that he got in that celestial garden, he kept it the gift, and it's kind of cool because he cannot
Yeah.
get injured if he jumps, for example, from that mountain, from that cliff.
Right. Can't take fall damage.
Okay, we have 15 minutes left. Yeah, we knew from the very beginning this will be a shorter video than usual because that's what's available for now when it comes to Crimson Desert. This is the demo that it's available, 75 minutes long. Again, support the YouTube channel ENFANT TERRIBLE. And when the game comes out, so far, if you like it, and I don't know why you wouldn't like it, support the publishing company for your PC and for your Sony, and I don't know if any other consoles would be supported. And just enjoy. Look, it's really beautiful.
They have come to claim your head.
Show yourself, coward!
You take such a pitiful life as mine? Well, you certainly are the first to try. My own father, if one could call him that. Came desperately seeking his bastard boy, when no sons were left of his noble line. But when he took one look at my lover's face, he called me the devil. Tried ending my life.
So I know that the game designers will never heard about this channel we're leading, and we'll never see this game analysis. But it upsets me because it's very one thing upsets me because it's very unrealistic that Cliff's thin wooden shield is able to take any magic, any blow, any hit. Doesn't matter if it's an axe or a sword, or if there's a magic that manipulates the weather, so it's a strong wind or anything. His shield doesn't break, and it's just a small wooden fragile shield. So I wish it's more realistic when it comes to that point. So it will bend or break, and to have to fix it or get a better one, like in many other games.
Well, that's because you think it's made of wood. It's not actually made of wood. It's made of plot armor.
Oh, okay. And who knows if it's in a way kind of magically protected or enhanced?
It could be. It could be. But yeah, no, I agree with you. A wooden shield wouldn't be able to take all that. But because he's the hero, you can't have his stuff break when he die. So that's why I said they made it out of plot armor. So this guy that he's fighting is that like a satyr or something?
I don't know. He has leprosy, so he's hiding his face. And in the beginning, like I don't know, 5-10 minutes ago, when they're just about to fight, the way he was moving, I was thinking about Flash, like zoom, zoom, like you can't see him.
Right.
Ooh. It's like, is this a wrestling match?
Right.
But do you see the pattern that every enemy he's dealing with can emit this like vibration slash magic that can impact long distances, and this is where he's the weakest because he's distance from them, let's say 20 feet or something like that, and until he approaches them, he can be hit by magical powers so many times.
Right. Give him his bow.
Yeah.
Why won't you die? Care to guess? The musk. Well, now that my secret has come to light, this dance shall resume some other day.
Oh, come on. They won't
Running
finish.
again.
Ah.
Allow this poor man a brief respite.
Shaun, you know how in many horror movies, when the main vampire is about to, I don't know, surrounded by the enemy or he's outnumbered, he has ability to turn into so many bats and run away.
Yep.
That just reminded me of that. Dance with the Devil, that was the quest name. Eight minutes left. Wow. Man, so far so good. I like the game, really.
Yeah.
Another intruder who dares to covet my hoard. None but
Ooh.
I are worthy to wield such wealth. This writhing worm doubted me. So I swiftly dispelled him of his doubt. It seems you require a similar lesson.
You see that X that is stuck in the ground? I wish
Yeah.
he can pick it up and just smash it with the X.
Well, he can't because right now he's got the shield of invincibility.
Yeah. But you know what? In the beginning, the game was very linear and it made sense. The scenery would change gradually. But in the last 20, 30 minutes, it keeps going from one world to another world, from one boss to another boss. So I'm thinking that this second part of the demo could be that it's not all chronologically correct, but not correct, but chronologically, it goes as the game order. Maybe just the author of the game decided to include some of the coolest boss fights. They're not necessarily related, just one after another, so that the buyer can see, oh, this is what I'm getting if I buy the game.
I was thinking the same thing. They've probably only written the boss fights for the last half, and so they still have to structure the story.
Yeah, because like I was saying a while ago, we saw him dying, or at least seemingly dying and being thrown in water, and now he's in, surrounded with snow and just fighting, and he's not injured. So they're plot stories, but when the full game comes out, we'll find out. So that's good. Man, that was finally. Shaun, I think
I had to come
they
back. I
heard
saw
you.
the
Yeah, I think they heard you because he's finally using, the arrows and bow.
Yeah, finally he got the bow out.
In boss fights like this one, it's not even about how powerful is your armor or sword, because you have to see how your opponent moves and learn the way he will make certain moves, so that you will be prepared to throw yourself left or right or maybe backwards, because you can be winning, but in one bad move you can make, someone so powerful and bigger than you like this one, he can take easily half of your energy with one move if you're not careful. Ooh. Shaun, I have a question. When we did a review of Black Myth Wukong and this game, because they're, the genre of the game is very similar. Which game did you like more?
I don't know. I'm really drawn to the European style, so I would say like this, but also Wukong is a lot less funky, and I think it's just because they're working all of the stuff out on it right now. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of comparing apples to oranges because this isn't a complete game yet, whereas Wukong is, completed.
This cannot
But I mean, when it comes to the world building and mythology, would you choose rather
This
Wukong or something like this?
something like this, definitely.
Okay. I mean, but both games are amazing.
Oh yeah, and I love the story of Wukong. Yeah, there's something about the European lore that I love.
Okay, 40 seconds left, and that's for this demo. I was just wondering before he came and was fighting with the king of this region, like where his soldiers, like kind of seems lonely if you're have a big title and big position, yet you're just there by yourself, you know. I don't know.
Right.
Well, that was it. Yeah, it was a short demo again, 75 minutes, but it was, I think, enough for all of us to see that we're talking about a coming mega hit that I
Hmm.
can't wait to come patched and come to its full glory, if I can use that word, on PC and consoles. But for me as a PC gamer, so that I will slowly start playing, because I cannot do the same thing when I was younger and play 5-10 hours a day. I can't. We have responsibilities, but this may seem like a worthy kind of spiritual sequel to The Witcher 3. So I'm excited about this game. I also want to thank everyone for spending time with us. If you don't watch this episode live, it's okay, because we never cover episodes on Saturday. And again, the reason why we skipped assessing God of War Ragnarok yesterday is because Shaun and I are still dealing with illnesses and sicknesses. We're under the weather. Hopefully, we'll be better soon. Again, I want to say, thank you for subscribing to the channel, leaving comments, liking, sharing, links. This all helps the algorithm. It doesn't cost you anything, but I'm very thankful. I have, we have about 19 more subs until we hit 1,000, and I'm excited about that. But yeah, please continue supporting, the channel in any way and shape and form you can. I would also like to say once again, happy birthday to Shaun's grandfather. Man, it's so special. And praise God for giving such a long life, where he was witnessing so many things. And once when he's ready to pass into glory, that he'll say, God, I had this full life you gave me. And it's like, what else is more to ask, it just shows God's grace and mercy. And that doesn't mean that God loves more those who live longer versus kids who are dying of cancer. There's so much we don't know on this side of eternity, um, including myself. Sometimes we question God, we judge God, asking questions why. And God is a big man, big boy, so to speak. He can handle those questions. But I would just encourage all of you to, regardless of everything, know that God loves you and that He's okay with your questions, that He can handle them, and that maybe He's calling us in this season to trust Him more. And just like in the video game, start polishing your armor and your spiritual weaponry, because the enemy doesn't sleep even when we do. And this universe is so much more majestic but also scary in a way, because there are enemies hidden in the shadows in different shape and force that we're not aware of. And even though we're just covering, these are just games, or like eerie creatures. This is just like supernatural segment. It's just like everything is a folk tale. Everything is a myth. Everything is just like a horror story. But is it? Is it? Everything we're covering on the channel, I don't say that I 100% believe. No. But I'm open-minded. I want to learn more. So be prepared. Know that when you're tempted and tested, that it's not coincidence. There's a way, like we saw in the game, a portal that leads you to the cosmic mountain to come take from the fountain of youth, from the tree of life, and drink and eat from God and be strengthened so you can continue further in your journey. May your strength, may your courage, may your nobility, may your righteousness be imputed by God Almighty and not by your own. Please know that you're loved, not because of what you did, not because of how much you're devoted, not because of how much money you give, not because of how, I don't know, you think you're obedient to God or something, but because you're made in God's image and that makes you special, and God will not forget you. Shaun, thank you so much that in the midst of, you know, both of us, including you, struggling with health, you sacrifice this hour and 25 minutes for myself and for the audience. Any concluding thoughts before we meet next Friday and assess another video game?
Cliff had an invincible shield that could not be broken. And Paul says we have the shield of faith, right? And it can repel all the fiery darts of the enemy. So stand strong in your faith. And I'm so glad that you guys are watching the channel. So glad that you're subscribing. Nico puts in a ton of work, and he's got a ton more work to do. And so he's going to be around for quite a while. And so we need to help him get to that 1,000. And then after that, 5,000, 10,000, blow the channel up. So, all right. We'll see you guys.
One more thing, because you mentioned that I have a lot of work to do. I just ordered 9 more books. I'm not kidding. It has to do with the planets and zodiac, but not from astrological point, from astronomical point, how God was using these things to talk to the ancient people. Could it be that he portrayed gospel in the stars? Also, I ordered some books when it comes to metaphysics, quantum mechanics, quantum physics, and how can we compare this with theology and spirituality. I ordered more books. I can't remember, but I remember at least those 2 different genres. I'm so on fire to start, researching and studying all of these different topics, because my mind is never satisfied with knowing enough. I want to cover all these things so that once when people in the church and outside the church, they have questions. Hey, what about this and the Bible, or this and the Bible? And there's so many questions and not so many answers that finally, hopefully after 200 and 300 episodes, right, they'll be like, oh, there is this channel, Myths, Mysteries, and Majesty. They made an episode. Let's go and check it out. And I'll be so blessed, so happy knowing that, our material is blessing someone. But yeah, until we see you next, not next week, we'll see you tomorrow, God willingly, if my health, serves me well. Again, we're having Carrie, and it will be, honest to God, I'm not lying or exaggerating. Just like with our episodes on chaos and with the Cosmic Mountain, it will be one of the best episodes ever, I believe, because not based on number of clicks, based on the importance of the material and depth. We'll be covering so many layers that I admit also I didn't see before, but it helps me, and I'm excited to share that with others. So whenever I do episodes with Carrie, it stretches my theology, my brain, and everything. I'm like dying. I'm reading multiple sources, but I'm growing, and Bible makes more sense. So that's why whenever we do biblical theology with Carrie, filtered through ancient Near East lenses, I learn so much, and I'm always so excited. And again, it has nothing to do with number of clicks. It can have 10 clicks or million clicks. The material we're covering, we're always citing sources, theologians and scholars who love God and who spend decades of researching these topics. And if you don't learn them, you can still be child of God, you can still be loved, you can still go and serve God, but you'll miss out on so much of the context of the Bible. So this is why episodes with Carrie, even though they stretch me and hurt me in a way, but they also branch me out so that I can, in a theological way, bring more fruit. And when I connect the dots, one day, if God allows me the platform to be full-time preaching, teaching, stuff like that, I can use that to bring more of the context and meaning and dots, like points of connection to the audience, which I wish to all of you, so you can learn more and you can be teaching and preaching better to others. So may you all be equipped to love and serve God and your flock. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful night. Have a blessed day tomorrow in the church for everyone going. And we'll see you, God willing, tomorrow. And next Friday, with Shaun, we'll be analyzing another game. God bless. Thank you.